Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg. I'm Village President Al Larson. In this episode, we'll be joined by Paula Diaz from the police department. Then we'll talk to Roxane Benvenuti and Rosie Paparella from the Septemberfest Committee. We'll close out the program by talking with Erik, Hallberg, and Dan Egan from the Schaumburg Renaissance Hotel and Convention Center. All this and more today here on Speaking of Schaumburg. The Schaumburg Police Department always tries to keep ahead of crime trends so they can keep the community informed. Here to tell us more about this is Paula Diaz, Crime Prevention Specialist with the Schaumburg Police Department. Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thank you.
Tell me what you do.
I'm the Crime Prevention Specialist at the Schaumburg Police Department. I've worked at the police department for about 11 years, and a lot of my responsibilities are a lot of outreach, helping people if they have any questions or if they have any problems in their neighborhoods, they will contact me.
Okay. Yeah. How long have you been doing this?
Well, I've worked in crime prevention for Schaumburg for about 11 years, and then I worked at Elgin Police Department for about 2.
Really?
So I've had.
I have a son who works for the Elgin Police Department. He's in charge of the dispatchers.
Oh, yeah. They have their own 911
Sure.
office, yeah.
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
Yeah.
So how long have you been with the department? I mean, you've been with crime prevention now for...
I've only worked in the crime prevention unit.
They hired you as a crime prevention specialist?
Yes.
Okay, what do you specialize in?
We do a lot of events.
Okay.
We work a lot with seniors, but many crime prevention programs. It can be something working with little children, sure. Preschool, teaching about strangers and...
Is it stranger danger thing? Is that?
Kind of stranger danger, but it's more just letting kids know that strangers can be people that are good or bad, but you just don't go with a stranger. And then we let them know that police officers are good people if they have any problems, that if they see a police officer, that we are trying to help them.
Do you get involved with the domestic disputes at all?
No, that's more with social services. We have our social service department.
I would assume, though, there's probably some overlap as far as cooperation is concerned.
Correct. So if we have, for example, a senior with Alzheimer's, or we have a care track program, people with Alzheimer's or some kind of autism.
Sure.
Right. So we have a care track bracelet where we can locate them should they wander or get lost. Okay. And that can serve, the social services division as well as crime prevention can assist.
Give some examples of some of the work you do to prevent crime in Schaumburg.
So we do a lot of prevention events. We do the senior scam prevention. We target the senior population with that event. Is
that where somebody calls you up and says, I'm with the IRS and we're going to sue you if you don't pay us money?
Correct. So
I had one of those 2 weeks ago, by the way, my first one.
We get a lot of calls. And the IRS scam can be, it's not age, it's just not directed at seniors. It can be anybody. But we do want our seniors to know about it. Telemarketing scams, door-to-door scams where people try to enter their home to steal their personal property. So that's a really good event where we can educate seniors on what's going on, but it also allows them to ask any questions that they may have or let us know what's going on in their neighborhood.
Okay, so if a senior gets a phone call like that, what should they do? Saying that you have to pay the IRS money and here's a number to call and you better get on it right away? Or?
Well, we encourage callers not to get into a conversation. We tell them to hang up if they have a caller ID and the number may not be familiar to them. Maybe they don't want to answer it. Seniors are very cautious when it comes to people that call them on the phone asking for something. It could be a charity. It could be, just a scam.
Sure.
But what we tell them is don't get into a conversation with them. Just hang up the phone. And they can let us know about it, but...
I would imagine you probably work with other departments too, is that correct?
Right, so we do a lot of networking with many organizations. We have a senior council, where we try to help each other. If a resident should call and they don't have, that organization may not have the services to help, they will contact and work with our network, and we try to help them in any way we can.
How many hours do you put in on this? I mean,
a lot. Yeah, the great thing about having these events is you get to know people.
Sure.
People are not afraid to contact us when they have a problem.
Sure.
So if I can't help them, I try to find somebody who can.
Okay.
So it may not be somebody at the police department, but we do a lot of work with the township office, the senior barn, Kenneth Young Center. So we try to communicate a lot, trying to help our community.
I suspect you probably get to know then a person with other organizations that handles cases that are similar to what you do.
Right. So we hear a lot about what goes on in the community from other organizations, and it's just a wonderful way to network and to find a way to help. We have a wonderful nursing division.
Tell me about that.
The nursing division, they have helped us out a lot. We have many seniors who have Alzheimer's. We have families who have family members who have autism. And the nursing division, from my experience with them, will do home visits if they can.
Sure.
And they will help out if we had an issue with hoarding, and we work together to help that family. So it's a really good, we have so many services in Schaumburg. It's just a matter of communicating to make sure that the proper organization can help.
Is there a number of people who can call if they have questions about your services? And
sure, they can contact me. If they can, would you like me to give them the number?
Absolutely.
Sure, 847-348-7274.
Okay.
They can contact me directly, or if they contact 311, they can ask for me, and they will transfer.
Paula Diaz.
Paula Diaz.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have any special training to get the position that you have as far as?
Yeah, in my job, I have to do quite a bit of different services. So we do home security inspections.
Okay.
We do.
So tell me about the home security inspection.
So we can do home security inspections for residents who may have been a victim of a burglary. They can contact us, and we'll go out and just make some recommendations. We actually provide them with a checklist of any recommendations that we would have for their home, that improvements that they can make to their home to make it a little bit more, maybe more safer. And then we will also check businesses out. We do hotels, and we will do inspections and check the property, the parking lot, the building itself.
I saw in a paper just recently where the village of Schaumburg was able to track down some burglars.
Yeah. So last winter.
Yeah.
Right. So last winter we had some burglaries that were occurring in Beat 6, I believe. And what we did was we did a community event, and we invited the community to come and talk about what was occurring, and we were able to provide information, up-to-date information on what was occurring in the neighborhood. So it's a lot of networking, a lot of getting out in the community to provide information. And I really believe the residents in Beat 6 were very happy with that.
No, I'm sure. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it was actually a very, it was a fun event in a way, because we got to meet people. And after that event, we had one of the subdivisions is participating in National Night Out. They decided to participate. So it provides that communication.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah,
that's
very important.
Paula, thank you so much for the work you do.
Sure, thank you.
As summer is winding down, the fun is ramping up with Septemberfest right around the corner. We'll learn next here on Speaking of Schaumburg. Celebrating its 46th year, Schaumburg Septemberfest is sure to bring fun and excitement for the whole family. Here to tell us more about it is Roxane Benvenuti and Rosie Paparella. Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thank you for having us again.
Thank you.
Tell me what your job title is here.
Special Events Coordinator.
And Rosie?
I'm one of the committeemen on the Septemberfest Committee.
Okay. And how long have you been a committeeman? Or committee person? Or?
Yeah.
I've been on the committee, this is my 6th year. I've done volunteers and fundraising.
How did you get involved? You just show up one day and on somebody's front porch stoop and said,
Almost. I've been coming to Septemberfest since I was a little kid. I walked in the parade several years. I was part of some of the booths in sponsor row, and one year I just decided, you know what, I love Septemberfest, so why not be on the committee? So I talked to Roxane. She said, why don't you come out to our next committee meeting, and the rest is history.
is that true?
Yeah.
Roxane?
Yeah, usually the people that join the committee, they love the fest and they want to be involved and see what it's like from the planning.
So what's new and exciting
side.
this year?
New and exciting this year. Well, this year, what's new and exciting for Schaumburg is its 60th anniversary.
Okay.
So we're all at the Village of Schaumburg are celebrating that milestone. So this year's theme is celebrating Schaumburg 60 years.
Who's the parade marshal this year?
Parade marshal, we're actually going to have the Schaumburg JCs because they are celebrating their 50th
50th.
anniversary. So Schaumburg 60th to the JCs 50th. So we
How do you do this?
invited them. So people can decorate.
Halfway in a parade, do you trade positions here? Okay, now the JCs and now they...
Well, no, I mean, people will be able to decorate their entries with an anniversary type theme, the number 60, but the JCs will be celebrating their 50th in their entry.
And how do you recognize that as far as the parade is concerned?
In the parade marshal?
Yeah.
Well, they'll be towards the front, an honorary guest of the parade. And since we've got 2 anniversaries to celebrate this year, we thought, why not celebrate them both?
Oh, that's a good idea. Good idea.
So, yeah, that was the parade committee.
How long have you
wanted
been
to do
involved
that.
with the fest?
Oh, 20 years.
Okay.
20 years. So,
20
long time.
years?
Long time. But it's a fun event, and people look forward to it every year.
Where did you come from?
I came from the Teen Center.
Teen Center.
Yeah,
How long were you there?
about 6 years.
6 years at Teen Center?
Yeah.
And in 20 years?
So this will be around my 20. I just had my 25th anniversary milestone earlier this year. So.
Okay. Did you get some kind of award for that?
I got a very nice plaque at a board meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Well, tell me about the fest. What are you looking for as far as the fest this year?
One of our most exciting and newest things at the fest this year is a craft beer and wine tent that's going to be in our crafters lot in one of the alcoves. We're going to have 5 new craft beer and wine booths selling some of their most favorite and special beers and wines for our patrons. Something a little new and different, bring a few more people into the fest this year.
Oh, that's a good idea. Good idea. Are you going to have a place for people to sit and sip their brew or?
Yeah, it's going to be a big fenced-off area in the alcove of the crafters lot. So we're going to have a big tent and all of the breweries and wineries under the tent. We're going to have a couple picnic tables and some chairs kind of scattered throughout the area.
Because I know when you're walking through the arts and crafts area, it gets very, very warm and very, very thirsty. And then people have to walk all the way.
The sponsorship committee came up with the idea to put a tent out in the craft area for people to sit and relax and enjoy some local brews while they're waiting for their family to finish shopping in the craft area. You know, tons of things to buy out in the craft area for upcoming holiday gifts and anniversary gifts. So a place for them to sit. And I don't know if you want to mention or the sponsor you secured and the 5 vendors that'll be under there.
Yes.
Maybe go ahead and mention them.
Pinstripes has graciously decided to sponsor our craft beer and wine tent for this year. They're going to have 2 stations under our tent, and they're also going to bring out some bags and bocce so people can enjoy brew or wine and play some bocce ball if they are waiting for people. And we're also going to have Sons and Daughter of Italy. They're going to sell some sangria. 10th and Blake from Miller is going to be selling some beer. And then we also have Granite City and Ram, so a couple of local Schaumburg.
Yeah, a couple breweries in Schaumburg.
Yeah, the committee wanted to start something a little new, to add something fresh to the fest for the anniversary year, and I think it'll be really well received.
Well, tell me about some of the entertainment that we have. I know we've got 2 tents. There's a big tent, of course, and then there's kind of the community tent.
Right, we always have 3 stages of entertainment.
Oh, 3, that's right. There's one in the food tent, right?
Yeah. So for the national acts, the Town and Country Distributors, Miller Lite, Miller Lite Coors. They sponsor the main stage. And so we've got we started a few years ago 2 opening acts each night. So there's 2 opening acts.
Who are they?
And then the main act. And we're not announcing it quite yet, who's playing on Saturday. And then on Sunday we have 2 opening acts, and the featuring band is Smash Mouth. With them, they have a ton of hits, so it'll be a really good show.
Isn't it a hamburger place, isn't it? No.
That's
Smash Burger. Smash Burger.
But
okay.
yeah, so they haven't been a good sponsor.
They're not there anymore.
So Smash Mouth's coming out on Sunday, so people, that'll be a really good show. We're getting a lot of interest for that one. And then Monday we're having the 2 opening acts, and then the local favorite, Seventh Heaven, is coming back because we received so many requests to have them. People kind of look forward to, finishing out the summer and closing out the show with them. So, and then we have a local stage, which is the stage that's out there permanently on the grounds, the local stage, and that features all of the local acts from the Park District and the local dance groups will be out there, and then they close out each evening with a local band.
Who's in charge of fireworks?
And fireworks are on Sunday nights.
Okay.
So Sunday's the night to see the fireworks. They're sponsored by Renewal by Anderson, and we're looking forward to the fireworks. Always, people
Sure.
come out on Sunday night for those. And then there's going back to entertainment, there's also a stage in the dining tent, so while you're enjoying your food, you can sit and listen to some entertainment there.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and strolling acts too. So entertainment everywhere.
How many people on your committee?
23. We have a chair and a co-chair of each division of the fest, but the chair and co-chairs, they pretty much share the same position.
Okay.
It's just so that we have 2 people in each job to kind of make sure things happen. A lot of details, especially in the months of June, July, and August. It really comes down to a lot of details. We all work really hard to plan and make sure that everything's covered. But
you got people with a great deal of longevity who been involved with the fest,
and a lot of them have been on for 20 plus years, and so that is.
That's like herding cats, though, isn't it? I mean, I don't know how you do it, Roxy.
Well, that
committee
I couldn't do without them. They're
oh, come on.
They bring it all together, and I rely heavily on each of them.
Blowing kisses to the committee now.
No, it takes a lot of people to pull off an event of this size. So I'm grateful for them. So lots.
So great entertainment, great parade. How many units in a parade?
Right around 100 or less, depending. So the parade committee's working on the lineup now, and restaurants, lots of good food. We have 23 restaurants coming out for the taste.
Give me some names of restaurants.
And so, we have 8 new ones this year.
And they would be?
I don't want to name them all.
Well, name as many as you can.
Well, we have Shaw's is joining us this year.
That's good.
We have a couple new Mexican restaurants, Sobresa Burrito and Graciano's Market. We've got Witch and Kinfork. So lots of variety of food, and also we have Sweet Caroline's joining us too, and they're going to have
that's Hoffman
good
Estates,
barbecue
Roxane.
And it's part of a la carte. But see, this year
that's right, it is part of a la carte.
We allowed Schaumburg and Schaumburg area restaurants this year because the committee wanted to really focus on variety and getting a lot of different type of items out there, and the best way to do that is to allow to go out into the area.
As long as you don't exclude local Schaumburg restaurants.
No, we did not exclude any Schaumburg. We took all the Schaumburg restaurants that applied.
Okay.
And then we allowed. Okay. So actually right now we have 23 participating, and then we also have not-for-profit groups on Monday.
Okay, my red light went on, so that means I've got to wrap this up. Rosie, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Roxy.
Yeah.
Roxy and Rosie. What a great combination.
Yeah, and then
Good to see you.
and as you see people in town, remember to have them sign up to volunteer if they'd like, because we always look for more volunteers.
You can volunteer. Call this number. No, a number's going to show up on the screen there, right?
Yeah, to volunteer or to sponsor. We'll always take last-minute volunteers and sponsors. We rely heavily on both of them.
Thank you, Roxane.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Rosie. This Schaumburg fixture is celebrating its 10th year in the village. Learn more next here on Speaking of Schaumburg. The Schaumburg Renaissance Hotel and Convention Center is celebrating its 10th year here in the village of Schaumburg. Here to tell us more is Erik, Hallberg, Director of Convention Center Sales, and Dan Egan, Director of Sales and Marketing. Well, welcome. Speaking of Schaumburg, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Good to be here.
Okay. Tell us what you guys do. What does a director of sales or another director do? I mean, how many directors do you have over there?
There's just the two of us in the sales office. So my role really is anything to do with the selling or the marketing of the hotel, restaurants, the convention center, and the actual group and individual travel sales. And Erik handles the convention center.
Okay. Is there ever any clash in terms of responsibility, or?
No, we work really well together, and we also try to divide and conquer. There's a lot going on regularly every day. So Erik will handle some things, I'll pick up others, but he really handles the convention center.
Well, tell us something about some of the exciting things that are coming to Schaumburg's Renaissance Hotel and Convention Center.
Well, just recently, 2 weeks ago, Mayor, we had the Billiards Congress of America in the Convention Center. And part of that was, you remember a few years ago, we helped to host the Ryder Cup from Medina.
Oh,
but
yes.
They had the Ryder Cup of Billiards with us a couple weeks ago, right after the 4th of July. So that was another interesting event that we had.
Three cushion billiards and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys play billiards at all?
Oh, yeah, on occasion.
A little bit, yes.
On occasion.
Really? Well, what else is happening at?
Well, coming up
Couple
then in a
conventions.
couple of weeks, we have our annual Stitches Midwest contract in the Convention Center. That's thousands of ladies who love to knit are coming in for that
I imagine there's some
weekend.
gentlemen knitters too.
There's a few.
There's a few, yes.
Yeah.
But 90% are the ladies coming in, and they see different types of yarn, other types to items to buy from suppliers and things like that in the convention center. And then they'll do individual workshops in the ballrooms throughout. So it's not only in the convention center, it's utilizing the ballroom, the guest rooms, as well as using some of our partner hotels.
How many people
throughout the
show
area.
up for that?
It's about 2,500 per day, and it's a
Okay.
4-day event. So
Okay.
roughly 10,000 people.
Is it the first
into
year
the
for
market.
this, or?
No, this has been there for 9 of our 10 years. So this has been a long-running show for us that we've had history with.
That's great. That's great. What else? Yes. Car auctions, auto
So
auctions.
Mecum Car Auction's coming up in October as well. That's coming online.
That'll be roughly, again, 25,000 people or so always come through the Mecum show. That'll be 1,100 cars will be auctioned off over the Thursday, Friday, Saturday event.
1,100 cars.
Yeah.
1,100, 3
My.
days.
And then we're featured on NBC Sports Network for the weekend as well. So it's great. We'll get some national television coverage that weekend too.
Well, what else, guys? Come on, tell me some more here.
So we're very excited. We've got some renovations coming up. So we this past December we did all the ballroom carpets, and between December and March we'll do all the guest rooms. So that's happening. Just a few weeks ago we opened up the patio again, the terrace.
Oh, sure.
So 3 nights a week we'll have live entertainment and open mic on Thursday nights. So that's big for us. And then recently we had some very interesting and elaborate weddings that came through.
Tell me about those.
So we had one wedding, South Asian wedding. The groom arrived on a float to the hotel.
On a float.
On a float.
On Meacham Road, or Thoreau Drive?
Thoreau Drive.
Yes. And then the departure of the bride and groom at the end. So they had a few-day ceremony with us. They departed with a helicopter.
Why?
And then the next weekend we had a group that actually brought in a production company from I think it was Hollywood, and they actually
Production company from
production
Hollywood?
company from Hollywood to do their entertainment.
And the background behind their head table was a 100-foot-long screen of changing landscapes. So at one time it was a forest, the next time they were in the mountains, next time on a prairie. So it was incredible what these folks put together for their wedding.
Where do they get the money for?
You know, it's interesting because the one wedding, probably by the time they were done, was anywhere from $800,000 to $1 million. They paid for people to fly in. They paid for all the guest rooms, $250,000 just in hotel expense. So they do very elaborate weddings.
Yes, they do.
And they start saving when the child is born, and this is a big piece in their culture. So
Okay.
it's been very nice to have them in the hotel, and it just really brings.
Oh, it's great. It's very colorful too. I mean,
it's beautiful.
The beautiful gowns that those ladies wear.
Yes, and they change several times throughout the weekend, and different type of dress all the way through. It really brings a nice piece to the hotel and to the area.
I can imagine. What kind of business can you expect from Zurich, right across the street?
Very excited to see them moving in September. I think it's going to be a couple waves of move-in. I expect to see more group business. We expect to see some project teams to come in, stay with us a little longer term. And then their business travel as well. So it's great to have them across the street from us. Magnificent building.
Reminds me of Transformers.
Yes, yes, I could see why you would think that, yes. And then we've got the ramp coming off 90. That'll open in time for that. That pulls right into our parking lot as well. So
You see business increasing and as the area around it gets redeveloped?
I think there's a lot of positive that goes with it. I mean, there's always challenges and
Sure.
New development in different areas within Chicago. But at the same time, I think with Zurich there and Sunstar coming in recently, I think there's a lot of potential for us going forward. And we're seeing some of these conventions. We've got groups that have been with us for over 10 years, 14 conventions
Really?
since we opened. And their numbers have grown over the years. There's the Brick Roll Convention, which is the Lego convention.
Yes.
They've expanded this past year. They took over now they've got the full convention center. So we're seeing that the groups that we have are expanding, and we're seeing some new development in the area. So it's definitely positive for us.
In many of these groups, similar to Brick World or the Mecum Auto Auction or the Stitches that we mentioned, they are all just thrilled about the off-ramp coming in off of 90, that is just going to drive their numbers, their attendance numbers through the roof.
Do you feel threatened at all by adding additional hotels to the market in
To me,
Schaumburg?
it's a mixed piece. Our goal really is to bring in new business into the hotel and into Schaumburg. So it's nice to have an opportunity where we can go ahead and not only fill our guest rooms, but also fill the guest rooms of the other hotels in the market.
Sure. I suspect Embassy Suites, as an example, should benefit.
Absolutely. We work with them pretty often because of the proximity. It's a short walk on your Fitbit. We also offer transportation. And we've had groups that will do programs with us, put the rooms there, and actually put some meeting space there. And then we expand out to the other hotels as well.
Oh, that's great.
So it's our goal is to go ahead and bring in new business to compress the market and give more business to all the other hotels.
A lot of restaurants coming as a result of you guys, too. I would imagine that impacts. That's a bit of a draw.
Level 257 is great for us. We've got a lot of groups that go over there. Punch Bowl Social is good. It gives groups an opportunity to get out of the hotel for especially their 3 or 4 days, see the area, and also have a different experience too.
Sure. I suspect you probably have a list of restaurants that you recommend too, don't you?
We do.
Of course, first on the list is Sam and Harry's.
Yes.
But then we do have a list a mile long of other ones as well.
Sure. Yeah. The Restaurant Row coming near you right there in Meacham Road.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be getting more. So.
Well, also what's nice is when not only we have that off-ramp put in, but the overpass has a nice walkway with some great lighting. So if guests want to be able to walk across, they can now.
Oh,
so
really?
That's a nice piece for us.
Well, that's great. That's great. And you of course, you entertain people who want to stop and have a nightcap or want to celebrate some special event in their lives.
Definitely.
That
We just had a wedding 2 weekends ago, and the couple met at Sam and Harry's. That was one of their first dates, and they would date and dine there often. And they decided when it came time for their wedding, actually did a buyout and actually had their wedding at Sam and Harry's.
Well, that's great. That's great. I have to drop in on some of those weddings.
There you go.
Do a little gate crashing, right?
Definitely.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Great to see
Thank you. That'll do it for this edition of Speaking of Schaumburg. Join us again next month for an all-new episode. Until then, I'll see you around town.